Just another lonely soldier on a Friday night. A little bit earlier than normal. My bedtime is moving around, and I got to go to sleep sometime tonight and wake up early as hell in the morning because that's what I've been doing. So, yeah, that's where we at.
Sit back, let your hair down. Lean toward the side window for the best video. Now let's do this. Slap subwoofers in a big Tahoe, trunked under Lithium, bringing the show. Sit down, hold on, and let the bass flow. Knobs to the right, boom, 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 let it blow. Boom, boom, big bass roll, turn it up high, take control. Boom, boom, big bass roll, high in the sky, right down to the floor. Crazy air pressure when the sub unload. 30 hertz notes make the whole street fold. Car audio jamming everywhere we go. Deep bass love in the parking lot glow. Amps run hot, but the current still flows. 6 sort of walls and they tune down low. Air in the air when we do a demo. Team Savage Sounds got the whole place froze. Boom, boom, big bass roll. Turn it up high, take control. Boom, boom, big bass roll. High in the sky, right down to the floor. Hold the doors, watch the meter. I think I smell coils. Let that banjo play. Roll to the line and we set that tone. The meters all jump, we're in that zone. Bass so loud, shake down to the bone. Wind from the box, feel like a cyclone. Team lined up, car audio thrown. Every bill clean, every setup known. Tahoe King, everywhere we roam. One big hit and the whole block moan. Boom, boom, big bass roll. Turn it up high, take control. Boom, boom, big bass roll. High in the sky, right down to the floor.
What's up, guys? A little bit early tonight.
Boom, boom, big bass roll. Turn it up high, take control. Boom, boom, big bass roll. High in the sky, right down to the floor. Take control, boom, boom, big bass roll. High in the sky, right down to the floor.
What's up, guys? I'm doing better, but I still ain't 100%. I don't know if I'll ever be 100%. 100% of what my 50% was, I guess. I don't know. Story of my freaking life. Normally we don't do this show till 9 p.m., but I've been on this stupid being awake during the day thing, so last week or so I've been going to bed about 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and waking up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm all messed up. So I know by 9 o'clock I was going to be so tired I wouldn't have been able to do a show, so I went ahead and did it now. But I try to keep them between like 7 and 9, so I guess it's, it is what it is. Looks like we got Bobby B in the house and AVAC's in the house. AVAC said, love the bass. Damn. Hell yeah, man. I've been working hard on creating tracks because I enjoy doing that. Um, they definitely aren't the most rewarding financially, but I really enjoy them, and so there's that. I like to be able to demo with my own music instead of using other music because it well it's fun for me to be able to create my own tracks, and then second, I don't have to worry about copyright issues whenever I'm shooting video, and that's a big thing these days. Looks like we got Outlaw in the house. Good day, bro. Good day, man. Bobby B. Got Frank. We got Frank in the house. 100% before. Hell yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm getting a kick out of it anyway. Let's see here. So this working hard or hardly working, yeah, Bobby. So yeah, I've got some stuff ordered. I got to do when it comes in. A couple days. I got some mirrors coming in because one of my mirrors is I've glued it back together like 4 times on my passenger side. It's done, guys. The top part's totally useless, and the bottom part's all I have, and it's on the passenger side, and I don't have a rear view, so I really have to replace that mirror. So I had to order a set. Hopefully, they'll last a little while. Mirrors take a beating on Tahoe. The driver's side, for whatever reason, is still perfectly functional, but that passenger mirror, man, yeah. Let's see here. Outlaw said, "I see you use a SPL meter. Maybe we can have you take on certain SPL meter and DBA meter that people." So wait, let me reread this because I misread it. Maybe we can have your take on certain SPL meters and DBA meters that people still use to measure SPL. DBA meters. Are we talking about the old school meters that were used for DB drags, like in the 90s? Is that what you're referring to? Get back on that, and I'll continue on with that. Let's see here. Was you 100%? Was you 100%? No, I was not 100%. So, like, if you take my percentile and start out, let's say about 18 years old, we'll call that 100% physically, because I definitely wasn't 100% mentally. By the time I was in my 30s, I was probably, maybe 90%. And then in my my late 30s, I started having real bad things going up in my heart and everything. So I dropped down to about 65 to 70% then. And then I spent, 12 years driving a truck. And that brought me down a little more, maybe 60%. Then the cancer hit, and the medications and all the crap and taking away my hormones and all that stuff they did for the cancer, that knocked me down to about 50%. And then the inactivity because of all that has knocked me down to another maybe 40%. So 40% is my new 100%. And then, and then getting sick knocked me down to chunk, and I'm finally building back up. Hopefully I'll eventually get back up to my 40%, which is my new 100%. It's funny how life works, ain't it? So yeah, Dubby, that's what I was thinking maybe that was the case. Did look kind of suspicious. He's incognito. Yeah. Sandy Explod salesman. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Howdy, everybody. What's up, Jason? Rob Richards, what's up? What's up? Uribe. Okay. Frank Uribe. Frank Uribe or Frank Uribe? 2 words. Working hard on these names, man. We work hard on them. And I appreciate that I have people all over the freaking globe. Sometimes it makes my stupid American speaking ass sound even dumber than I am trying to pronounce your perfectly normal names. Anyway, we'll move along. Let's see here. Red pill. I guess we all are. YouTube is showing that 461 number at the end of my name. Yeah, well, you know, you got to be a number. I don't know what I show up as. I think I just show up as car audio enthusiast. I don't on this because I'm the host. So yeah, I definitely show up as car audio enthusiast if I type in anything in chat. Yeah. I think that's how I show up everywhere though. Let's see here. 461 red pills around exactly. 110 dB. Okay. See, yeah. Okay. All right. Now I'm hip. I thought maybe that might be what we were talking about. So there's a few problems with using old school mics. For one, it was a microphone. They were only good, like he said, up to 110 dB. They were actually more or less accurate, a little higher than that. But the thing about them is they were calibrated differently. So what would be 150 dB on one of those mics would actually be, I think it's about 10 dB difference, would only be 140 dBs on today's pressure sensors. So there's 2 different things. One is a microphone and one is a pressure sensor. Now, you might argue, well, what's the difference between a microphone and a pressure sensor? Not a tremendous amount. However, a pressure sensor is designed specifically for low frequency pressure, where a microphone is designed to actually pick up audible signals like the full range. So it has to be more sensitive, and it's not near as accurate for low frequency pressure. That's why there are 10 dB difference in those 2 devices. Also, it's not rated to the pressures that we do. If you want to know what happens to a microphone in a high SPL environment, listen to any video where someone has a microphone in there letting you hear subwoofers. That's what happens to it, right? Same exact thing happens to the microphone for measuring sound pressure. It just breaks. It doesn't work. So, and it isn't like it's just off. It's also basically worthless above like 120 dB. Let's see here. What's up, D? Harness D. Hope everybody's having a good night. What's up, man? Frank was always on 5-star streams. Ah, okay. Dope shit. Bobby, you're messed up, man. The Robot Underground. Yeah, screw him. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I don't have any problem with androids that live in caves. Yeah, there you go. Smile. I got to get my political face on, y'all. So Let's see here. Corn nut. I have no idea. No idea at all. Um, let's see. Likes when people get the best bang for their buck. Yeah. I well, should I tell that story? Man, I don't like drama. So no, I used to watch some of the Android in the Caves videos, um, and it was reasonable content, kind of down to earth, unscripted, basic content, which is sort of like what I shoot most of the time. But unfortunately, well, one day the person decided to take on me and to make a video specifically to insult me. And I watched the video and, uh, you know, I don't know. I just didn't take it well. I handled it as smoothly as I could. A lot of people will remember this. And it turns out that a lot of his subscribers were also my subscribers. And when he posted the video, he kind of got a lot of flack for it from a whole lot of his subscribers. So soon afterwards, he took the video down. That's that. And I haven't really communicated with or indulged in watching any of his stuff since then. I'm sure he's, an amazing person. I just, that's that. So, we'll move along here. Just getting off work. What did I miss? D, you didn't miss anything that I'm aware of. Bobby said things. Let's see here. If I go to someone and see baskets buried in dirt, hard pass. What's up, El Fuego? Glad to see you in the house. Bobby B sent you. Bobby B always sends you. He's the gatekeeper, man. He takes care of all the business. Everybody has some alcohol and white vinegar. Still a hard pass when he sent even put up. I don't know. W's number one. It still suggests prefabs. I don't know. I'm missing a whole lot of information here. So you guys are commenting on something. It's like an inside joke to me. I don't know what the joke is. So just a heads up on that. But I know, it's like this, man. If everybody's got my back. People that know me and know how I roll and how I believe and what I hold important in my life. They've all got my back. That's you guys. You're always looking out for me. You're always letting me know when something's going on, and I appreciate that. You have no idea how much. I need all the help I can get these days. But yeah, I got to do mirrors. What was the other thing I was going to do? Oh yeah, I got to finish my my toolbox in the back of my Tahoe. Got a little tool stash back there. I got some plans for that. I want to make that cooler. I also want to add some lighting in the back there. And I got a few little things to do. So we'll have to get with that. And we've got Troy's car that we're going to be working on. He's got two Depbont's Apocalypse 300s series 12s back there in a cab-facing ported box in the trunk. We're going to build him a trunk wall. In other words, we're going to seal off the baffle of that box to the cab. And it's challenging because he doesn't want me to attach anything to the box. So I've got to build basically a wall that's connected to the car and then push the box up against it and then build an amp rack behind it to keep the box pressed against the wall. I got to put it in basically a vise and hold it in place. Usually with most people, it's don't connect anything to the car, right? Like you don't want anything connected. But in this case, it's exactly the opposite. So we got to be it'd be very tricky. That's coming up probably this weekend. So I've got a lot going on in the next few days. We're going to get a lot done in the next few days. We're going to get some videos out. If you guys hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. You might want to do that. And the like button. Hit that like button. Is anybody missed hitting the like button on the video? It helps these lives out tremendously. Let's see here. Bobby Robot. Let's see. All right, hold on. El Fuego says, I'm on a budget for speakers in my next build, but I want to go 3-way front stage. And you're on a budget. I mean, the 3-way front stage, I mean, I could just say go towards recoil because you're going to get quite a bit for your money with recoil. That isn't the only option, though. That is one. They have some pretty nice 3-way component sets for a reasonable price. Another option would be, if you don't mind spending extra money, is Kicker. Kicker has extremely clean component sets. They always have. I mean, Kicker struggled with subwoofers for a while. They've got that fixed now. But they struggled a little bit with subwoofers for a while for high-powered stuff. They've always made good SQ stuff. And their front stage, 3-way front stage setups have always been extremely good at being loud and still sounding really good. The only downside is they're not cheap. But that's one option as well. There's actually a lot of ways to go with that. Me personally, I'm not one of those people that have to have a single brand across everything. So I will compile different components. Like there's 2 or 3 different 6.5s. Slapz is a really good 6.5, a really good 8 that make an excellent bottom driver for a component set. I really like Audio Dynamics 3.5s, the 3000 series 3.5s, or 3s, whichever one they are. I think they're probably my very favorite 3-inch driver for a middler, if you will. And I like the Rockford Fosgate T1 and T2 tweeters for tweeters because they can actually take a lot of punishment and still sound very natural. That's 3 different brands in a combo, but I would absolutely run that combo. Here's the thing about most of that stuff is it's going to go behind panels. No one's even going to see it. No one cares they're different brands. They say, oh, that sounds amazing. That's all I care about. So let's see here. Robot suggested a lot of unsavory things also, which wasn't needed, did for clout. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I don't follow the cat, so. Bobby B, yeah, he is. Bobby's always on top of his game. What are we talking about here, El Fuego? Let me see. Planning next build, Frank, using old school Orion amps and 4 kicker comp gold 12s. Nice. I was going, when you mentioned Orion, I was talking to one of my buddies, Troy, the other day, and mentioned to him one of my favorite amps. It's not really old school, but it's kind of a kit. It's kind of getting to be old school. And it's still sold as a new amplifier, but that's the Orion XTR 2500.1. The price has gone up on them though. They're like $500, but that amp makes like 8,000 watts dynamically. It's absolutely obscene. Unfortunately though, because it was at the time, it was about a $300 amp, 300 and something dollar amp, making 8,000 watts. It was a honey of a deal, right? But now it's like, okay, well, so it makes 8,000. We'll just say it's an 8K. At $500, it's still not really cost effective. That said, it's a stellar amplifier. It makes a god awful lot of power. Bit hungry, but yeah. And I'll tell you another subwoofer that slept on, and that's audio pipe. I had some of the, I think they were the triple stack, the 3X audio pipe 12s. I had 4 of those in a under the window box, and a Ford pickup, double cab Ford F-150. And I had that Orion XTR 2500.1 on that 4 12s. And that sucker slammed. I mean, I didn't even have a meter at that point. But that thing got down. It got down nasty, and it was shaking the whole freaking cab of the truck. It would shake the firewall to the point where you felt like your foot was bouncing off the brake pedal when you were sitting at a red light. I mean, it was serious. Don't sleep on those audio pipe subs. Let's see here. Fuego, those subs are going to sound awesome. You damn right they will. KS 6x9 3-way components. That's a good choice. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you're running too, Bobby, isn't it? Great mix of topics. I am a great mix of topics, dude. If you're hanging out with me, we'll talk about absolutely everything. It's like I chase squirrels all over the place. Corn Nuts a fan of mix and match. Like I said, I don't care about brands. I mean, I'm more interested in whether or not the different roll-off points line up, and that we'll get a natural crossover between each speaker, and that they'll cover the full range and give me that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in. If I'm doing an SQ build, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for full coverage of the frequency range with good dynamic power and good dynamic hits between them. And also stuff that doesn't die easily, because I play loud. Even when I play SQ, I still play my shit pretty loud. I want to crank it. I want to crank that guitar up. I want to get down. So I tend to blow tweeters. That's my weakness. Everybody has something that they blow up. For me, it's tweeters. That is why I like running a good 3-inch mid-range, because I can take that sucker up to 20K and cross it over at like 500 or 600, 700 hertz, and then take it up to 20K, and then I can cross the tweeter on top of that over at like 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000, and that keeps me from blowing the tweeter. That little mid-range will play so high and so efficiently that I can cross the tweeter over and just let it take care of the very top. And that little middler will handle all the pressure, right? And not be susceptible to popping. So that's why I've gotten really to where I really like running a 3-inch in there. in between my 6.5 and my tweeter, or whatever the bottom one is. I didn't say I didn't like that. Frankenstein set up. Everything I do is Frankenstein. Right now, I'm kind of, I'm all Slapz except for my AD3s and my little JL underneath the dash. Oh, son. Let's see what else is going on down here. I'm trying to read through the chat. W loves tar amps. Hell yeah, man. We're rocking it. Lamp cord gain represent. What's wrong with lamp cords? What's wrong with grandmama's lamp cord? It's 2 copper conductors, man. As long as you can tell which one's positive and which one's negative, rock it. I have no issues with that tar amp cord. What's the best bet for a 3-way front stage on a $1,000 budget? Oh, that's deep. That's a pretty big budget. I mean, I'd have to look through Kicker stuff because they have some stuff that's, I'm pretty sure, is within that range. But I mean, we all know about certain stuff. So let's talk a little bit about stuff outside of the stuff we normally discuss. We know Kicker has some stuff in that range. Recoil has stuff in that range easily. Slapz has 2-way setup. I wouldn't say that would be the ideal solution for a good 3-way setup for SQ. So they don't really have that option right now. That may change in the future, though. There's things coming in the spring, so you guys can keep your head up on that. But I would say maybe Alpine's lineup. Alpine is notorious. Alpine's a lot like Kicker and the sound of their stuff and the way their equipment performs. They tend to be able to handle getting loud really well and keeping it together and also sounding really good. So I've always liked the Type R line. I'm pretty sure the Type R line does include a 3-way component. I don't know this, but I would put money on it if it does. The main thing I've learned is, for me, I prefer the sound of a Silk Dome tweeter, even though it's actually not the best way to go. It's silk textile drivers like that. They tend to break up fairly early, like at around 20K they start to break up. Actually, they start breaking up before that. But being as it's a textile, you don't hear the breakup. It's a softer thing. It's just like this rag. When I crumple this rag, you don't hear that, right? On the other hand, if I have one of my aluminum cans handy, the metal drivers, the titanium and beryllium and aluminum and all these different types of metal drivers, they don't break up nearly as early. They tend to hold it together up into well past 20K. But when they do break up, it's very audible because it's metal. It crunches, it crinkles, which is why some people do not like the sound of metal tweeters, right? Because they're sensitive to that crinkling sound whenever they get past their breakup point. I tend to prefer them. The reason I like them so much is because they have one characteristic that makes them better than Silk Domes. And that's that the actual tweeter material is connected to the voice coil, and it's metal. So you've got a metal material connected to the voice coil that's moving and vibrating, which means it's getting air over it. And that metal dome, whether it be inverted or not, acts like a radiator or a heat sink to the voice coil. So it makes a tweeter a lot harder to blow, which means it handles power better. That's why I tend to prefer those. But I do tend to like the sound of the Soak Dome better, but I prefer the performance and reliability of the metal ones over that. I know, different road, but let's keep going. And as far as the answer to your question, I think I covered it. I would say the Alpine Type R. I'm almost positive. I only have one of my monitors right now, guys. One of my monitors took a dump on me, and I've got one ordered. It'll be here sometime in the beginning of next month. But I only have one screen, so it makes me doing any alternate, like pulling up stuff, websites and stuff, nearly impossible. So I can't really do that. But in case you're wondering, but I have the Alpine Type R and the kicker lineup. Those are two places I would look. And I'm not a huge fan of JL's components. I think they're way overpriced for what you get. So I wouldn't point you in that direction. And Rockford's development process has basically been stagnant for a long time. I wouldn't point you in that direction either. I might consider JBL, looking at some of their stuff, because they've always been very consistently good sounding equipment. But knowing you, you'll probably run with the kicker stuff. And that's totally fine because it's good quality gear. Blake. Bought but I haven't installed yet. What are your thoughts on the Hertz Legends front stage ML 280 700? I'm sorry, but I don't have any knowledge on those off the top of my head. I have, guys, and I apologize for not knowing about all these brands. There's a couple of reasons. One is I have a lot of things going on, like my normal life, and then I have to learn about all the equipment and keep up with all the equipment from the people that I actually work with. And it changes and stuff's happening constantly. And then the stuff that competes directly with that equipment, I have to understand the vast majority of that. So that's more stuff. And then I've got about 50 or 60 different people's bills in my head, and they're constantly wanting to know advice on this and that and the other. And I have to try to help them with that. My brain is just so full. I can't absorb anything else. I don't have any room for anything else. And I'm familiar with some of the Hertz lines, but I am not familiar enough with what you're asking to even start to answer that question. And I'm terribly sorry for that. I will say this about that though. When it comes to Focal and Hertz, other brands of that nature, Audio Frog, some more, I think that they all sell quality equipment. It's not going to be bad equipment at all. But I also feel like most of those brands are coasting on their name, and you're not really getting what you pay for. You're getting a good piece of equipment, and it's being charged way more for it because it has a different name on it. That's my personal opinion. So are you going to go bad? No. You're going to end up with good stuff. I just think you could get similar quality stuff for less price by doing some research. And I know that's what you're trying to do now. That's why you're asking me. And I've already given you several avenues based on El Fuego's question to look into. Compare the specs, compare the THD, the frequency range, the power handling, all of those things, the real information. Compare all the actual things about the driver with other companies. Kicker and Alpine are two that I would say right off the bat. Look at both of them too and see if you're getting more for your money, if you're getting a significant amount more for your money by not purchasing one of those two. I think you might be surprised. That's the best I can answer your question. Let's see here. Focal flax. Yep. Again, we already covered how I feel about that. But it is what it is. I'm not saying they're bad. They're good. I just think you're paying for mostly when part of what you're paying is just for the name. That's just my opinion. And also, I'm not crazy about Focal's overall sound signature. I never have been. They've got kind of a honky sound. It's a maybe 800 to 1200 hertz tends to be really bright in their drivers. I like the kicker sound better. They have a little bit more of a dip in that area. And honestly, Audio Dynamics, look into them, man. For all of you guys looking for really good high end, really good performing and good sounding components, look at Audio Dynamics component sets. That's some of the best in the business. You can compare them to anybody else at any price level. They have an excellent sound signature, great sound, really good support structure, good customer service. They handle power well. They sound great, and the prices are within that realm of prices. I think they're worth the money. Almost. They're still a little bit overpriced. Let's see here. I don't know, man. I have no idea. Would y'all want me to ask? Hang on a second. You know what? Hang on. I'm over here on the I'm over here on the thing. You want me to ask Jacob Fuller? I'll ask Jacob. He might get back to me. Give me a minute. We'll ask Jacob. Sundown named after Sundown Town. Hang on. One of my people in my live show was asking. And we'll see if he gets back to me tonight. Yes, I talked to Jacob Fuller. I talked to a lot of people, guys. You wouldn't believe it if you've seen it. Okay. So we'll ask him and see if he replies. He was active about 17 minutes ago. So we'll find out. Well, I do have a Crescendo 3K. Hell yeah. Stereo integrity. Yeah. I agree with that. That sounds like a win. Red pill. Banny 360. Just put a couple of ancient 3.5 block punts. Oh, goodness gracious. Those are old. I'd be worried about that cone deteriorating. On 22 farad and 4.7 microfarad in parallel. They sound good with a pair of 15ers. Otherwise, it was all trouble. They're using 1.5 farad, 60 dB for tweeters, 4 ohms. Any paper cone driver, man, that's the one thing. The thing may be brand new in the package. If it's been seeing sunlight and air moving around on it, the paper degrades so bad. Paper is a wonderful sounding medium, but it doesn't like time. And the old foam surrounds is another big problem with that. 20-watt RMS tweeter. They need to boogie. Greetings from, how do you pronounce that, Mercy? I don't know how to pronounce that word. Bicuia? Bicu? See, I'm an ignorant American. I honestly, I'm ashamed of us. We can't say anything. We screw up every word. But greetings. Let's see here. Anybody else want to chime in on how to pronounce that? Somebody, Eureka. Fuego, that's what she said. Well, you guys, custom speaker pods. Yeah, for real, Bobby. Yeah, if you guys are interested in doing a component set in a vehicle that only had room for a 6 or whatever down there, custom speaker pods will absolutely hook you up. Get you some really nice pods for your doors and your A-pillars. If you head over to customspeakerpods.com, use discount code CAE to save 10% off your purchase. And remember, they carry speakers, amplifiers, subwoofers, and all kinds of stuff. So that discount code works for anything in your shopping cart. Outlaw says, CAE, what do you think about the stresses are like on mids and tweeters and doors versus 150 plus setup? Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Do I run into issues of core damage from shift, etc.? No. So here's an interesting thing. I gave this a hell of a lot of thought, and I went way past where you're probably thinking and gone way past that. So the thing about something's resonant frequency. What's the best way to put this? Something very delicate, like, I don't know, something very delicate. It doesn't matter. If it has a really high resonant frequency, it doesn't tend to react to low frequencies. It's sort of a filter. Like if you use the subwoofer as a microphone, right? You can do that. But what you're going to get on the other end is going to be because it doesn't react to the high frequencies. It just doesn't move fast enough. The same thing goes for really light, small cones. They don't react quick enough, but they react fast, but they don't react slow. They can't resonate with that pressure wave. So they tend to not be affected by it at all. It's, and I've tested this. So, because I thought I was going to destroy some speakers with it. And I turned the speaker off and used the scientific method of putting my fingers on the cone while I'm throwing the hammer to it. And the cone doesn't move. The whole dash is jumping around. The steering wheel's flopping like it's made out of Play-Doh. But the speaker cone doesn't move. Now, having said that, if you want to test this yourself, you could take one and put it in a cardboard box or just leave it free air, hook some wires up to a voltmeter, set it on AC, right? And then hook your speaker wires up to that, and there's the speaker in there and crank the snot out of it and see if it generates any electricity. I'm sure it will, but it's so little that it doesn't cause any issues. You would think it would, but it comes down to this too. So when I was talking to my friend Carmel, who's been doing this stuff since, I don't know, like 30 years now, 30 something years. Before I built my first wall in my Tahoe, I asked him, I said, I wonder how much difference it'll make. He said, well, cut a piece of cardboard and put it in there and find out. I'm like, cardboard? He said, yeah. He said, just put a piece of cardboard in there. He said, it'll sound like a wall, and it's like, wow, cardboard's so thin and flimsy, right? But again, if its resonant frequency is higher than that frequency it's trying to shake it, it doesn't naturally want to resonate, so it tends to not move much at all. And he was absolutely right. You can put a piece of cardboard in there and you can get most of the pressure you're going to get with 3 inches of wood, because it just doesn't move. It's interesting. Sound is really a trip, especially when it comes to the crazy stuff we do. And I really can't explain how that works exactly. That's my best guess, is the resonant frequency thing. I don't know, man. It's tricky stuff. Bobby said use coupon and CAE. Hell yeah, brother. Let's see here. Now, if you're running ribbon tweeters, you should hang that up. Ribbon tweeters will get destroyed. But who runs ribbon tweeters? If you're running ribbon tweeters, you're not going to be running big subwoofers. It's just those two things just don't usually jab in the same vehicle together. Soft domes. Bobby, what do you think about 12s? What do you all think about the DS18 ZXI 12s? Jono. That must be a new driver. I'm not familiar with them. Soft domes. It doesn't matter. It can be a dome. It can be inverted or either way. But there's many different types of domes. You can refer to the silk dome. There's also metal domes. A tweeter is basically going to have either a dome or a cone or an inverted dome. Those are the 3 things that you typically get from a tweeter, a round, tweeter, unless you're getting into planars and ribbons and all that stuff. And they can all be made from all the different materials. And you basically got plastics. There's like 4 different plastics. And then there's all the textiles, and then you got all the metals. Those are the 3 things you can see. Most of the car audio cheap stuff's going to be made out of plastic. Plastic is really good. It's rigid, kind of like metal, but it's cheap and inexpensive. It's also weather resistant, and it's in a whole lot of less expensive car audio stuff. The metals tend to be fairly expensive, as are the tweeters, the silk, and all the different types of silk and different types of textile. But the cool thing about tweeters is they use a tiny amount of material to make up their cone. So even if it's really expensive material, there's only a tiny amount of it, so it doesn't tend to screw the price up too bad. We could have a whole freaking 2-hour movie on tweeters, or just tweeter cones. Red said this the 3-way Sony ES. Hey, that'd be a rocking setup. My partner sells the Sony ES line, and I've heard them recently, and they sound amazing. I would put them up against about anything out there too. They sound real good. Sony has moved into a whole lot more of an SQ market, and they're slowly taking over a chunk of that market. For the price that you pay, you're getting a whole lot with Sony equipment. Bobby says penis dome tweeters. No, Bobby, we don't get down with penis dome tweeters. Maybe vagina dome tweeters. Oh man, don't say that. I've blown way too many DS18 tweeters to say that. The funny thing is, the one thing that I did have really good luck with was the Hooligan subwoofer line and the Hooligan amplifier line. So kind of the one thing that you left out, which is the subwoofers and amplifiers. I had the most luck out of that. That Hooligan, I had a 15-inch Hooligan sub. Nasty subwoofer. I wish I'd have had like 4 of them. Q-test, but higher port box. Yes. Go sealed. Go sealed. Go sealed. Well, that's a statement. Morel just dropped a budget component set a couple of months back. Very reasonable. But is it any good? See, the problem with that is, I mean, like, hey, uh, Porsche could go build a freaking cheap ass little car and call it a Porsche so and so, but does that mean it's built with Porsche quality or it's just got a Porsche name on it? Same concept, man. So, ha, P. Diddy. Bobby, you're so messed up. Vegas 6.5 with horns. Hell yeah. Let's see here. Red Pill. Bobby's looking for tweeters made in Kappa, I don't even know, Turkey. Okay. My buddy is at one of my friends that works for Carmel. He's got these little starlight things in his little, the freaking lights all in the ceiling and the twinkle and stuff. Fiber optics. That's what I was trying to think of. And I call it his P. Diddy roof. I go up there and he's a young guy. I make his face get all red. I'd be like, so man, what's a good price on, that baby lotion these days? You got a good seller for that stuff? It's like, I was like, you must be racking up on that, stocking up on that baby lotion now that, the OG PD's not around, to buy it all up. I give him all kinds of shit. I just steadily come up with one-liners and shit, keep his face red, keep him laughing. Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. Always appreciate that. Let's see. The Coast a little. I have the Orion HCCA 6.5 mid ranges. Yeah, I've heard. There's one of the guys on YouTube that he tests mids all the time. He's like a mid freaking psychopath. He loves the Orion mids. Absolutely loves them. He's loved them for years now. Bobby, somewhat. Yes, your build is definitely one of the ones floating around, drifting around in my freaking head. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm actively working on, though, that are projects and the people are like, oh, I decided to do this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, really cool, because I'm pulling their file up. I've got it stacked in there. The more crap I put in, something's got to come out. It's like Married with Children. You keep putting facts in, eventually stuff starts falling out. Yeah. Yep. Audio dynamic, man. Hold on a minute, guys. Hold on a minute. Let's see what Jacob said. Okay, here we go, guys. This is from Jacob Fuller. He says, no, that's ridiculous. He sent me a picture of something. He says, since one of the absolutely most ridiculous, silly, and he said, that's some BS that MBE started. There you go. That's from Jacob Fuller. That was Jacob's words, guys. MBE started that shit, apparently. So now y'all know from the man who literally started the company. I just read what he messaged me back. Yeah, he knows about it. I just freaking messaged him 10 minutes ago. We watched him laugh on his head off when that happened. It's named after a lyrics of a song his dad liked. He sent me something with a story on it. I didn't read it, but everybody who rebrands is fake. You can't trust. Yeah. The surrounds good. They were the cedar closet. Oh, okay, yeah. Hopefully that works out. I just received a Slapz Shock 3K and a couple of Dark Audio Cam 12s. Not familiar with them, but good deal. I watched your video on Trunk Thunder Lil Banger series and have done my own research. I want to be positive of the 5Ks and the 10Ks, both basically plug and play or special needs for charging. Plug and play all the way. I use both. I love blow punt head units. Me too. I always like blow punts. And it's not caramel, it's Carmil, Carmil. That's how his name is pronounced and spelled. I need to replace 6x9s that got foam rot in the convertible. You can also order the surrounds for 6x9s and replace that too. Blake, plug and play. Yep. Well, I appreciate you. 3V Vizard. I don't know how to pronounce that, but okay, I appreciate you, brother. Brother, it's like I tell everybody, I don't sell because I get paid. I sell because it's good stuff. I just happen to get paid. Okay. I've turned down deals from all the major brands, like 5 or 6 different huge brands, huge companies have offered me deals. I turned them down. So that's it. Bass Addict. Yes. Bass Addict 91. Hoping one day we'll get to do a little, I get him up here and we'll do some stuff. That'll be cool. 0 ohms. 0. What about pressure itself? It's not pressure. It's so when you're thinking about the pressure, it's not like it's an air tank, right? You're not building and holding a pressure. What you're doing is creating a pressure zone, and the pressure is dynamic. Instead of me pushing, I'm hitting. Okay. And it's like if you go punch a bed sheet, right? It doesn't really do anything. It just sort of hangs there. It doesn't care that you're punching it. And that's kind of the way that works. It's so light and easy to move that it just doesn't care about the pressure, if that makes sense. Tubes, heavy bass, has its own gravity. Ooh, that's nice. Should make a t-shirt. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So you have one for sale, or you just have one? Oh, you guys are going back and forth. Okay. Ceramic, yes. Ceramic is one. Blake, I am running one of my truck. All right. Audiodynamics 3000 series. Yes. Exactly. Give me just a moment, guys. I need to take care of a personal matter. We're back. Uh, I needed more Diet Coke, and I needed to drain out the last can. I got to keep the nicotine and the caffeine rolling through my system. Let's see here. Headliner. So, a Fuego mentioned the 80 3000 series, yes. In the mids and highs and the component set area, I like the 2000 and the 3000 series. I think are the best deal. If you're just doing the mid and the tweeter, or the woofer and the tweeter for the door, the 1000 series is an excellent deal. And all three of those sound very similar. What changes is mainly the power handling. But having ran all of their gear, their mids and highs, I mean, I ran the 6000s. I had 4 of the 6000s on my Tahoe. Those suckers were, at that time, $600 a pair, and I had 2 pair. Yeah. Actually, they were $400 a pair, and I had 2 pair. So we had $800 worth of mids in the doors. That's back when I was driving a truck and making that trucker money. Those things were nasty. They were a good midwoofer, real good midwoofer. You cannot go wrong with anything that Audio Dynamics sells. Period. Unbammy, only 60 watts RMS. I don't know. Let's see here. Blake said, if you run the lithium separate from other batteries, you'd be better off. Yes. If you need to support your current electrical, it helps to add lithium. Yes. The lithium gives you a slight advantage if you run it separate, because you can run a slightly higher resting voltage. But you can run them together, especially if you drive it daily. Red Pill lyrics. See, I'm going to have to go 2 AGMs to run mids and highs, plus the factory electrical. Add a second alternator straight to the trunk thunder for my bass amps. That works. I got my whole stereo system on 2 trunk thunder lithium 10K version 2s and 1 370 amp alternator. That carries the whole stereo system. Let's see here. Yes, they do, Red Pill. They definitely shine on their own. Extra battery can negatively affect the system if it's drying. Yes, it can. At what point is a second high output alternator needed? You don't really have to have a high output alternator or a second alternator. What's needed is more power, because your vehicle's electrical system was designed and set up to run the vehicle with about 20 or 30 amps left over to be able to charge the starting battery back up after it starts the car. So it's, I mean, there literally isn't any extra left over. So it takes about 70% of what your alternator puts out to run the vehicle. And then that extra power, which is usually about 30 amps, 25, 30 amps, which happens to be the C rating for a starting battery, which is 0.3 C. If a 100 amp hour battery is 1 C is the amount of amp hours it is. So 100 amp hour battery at 0.3 C is around 30 amps, which is how much the alternator usually has left over to be able to put in there. And that system is designed up as a closed system. It's designed to operate within this space. There's not any real extra power there. So whenever you add a 500 amp draw, or excuse me, not to be 5,000 watts, just say 100 amp draw for a 1,000 watt amplifier, that's more than the system knows how to make. It simply isn't really there. That's why your headlights dim, is because it's taking power from other systems. The whole car's electrical is dipping every time your bass hits, and because there's no power available to give it. So putting a bigger alternator in works. That's why the police cars always ran with what they call extra duty or super duty. There's another word, and I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, the alternators they put on police cars were bigger for that reason. The lights that they run on the car was too much of a draw for the electrical system. So they had to put a bigger alternator on there to be able to carry the lights in the car. That's a real good place to find a high output alternator for cheap too, is on old ambulances and police cars that you might find in a junkyard. Going to have really good alternators on them. But yeah, that's why. It's because you need the power. You're not making any extra power from the start. Oh, goodness gracious. This is the show of Robot Underground tonight, apparently. He needs all the advertisement he can get. So let's be sure and give him all this advertisement. Okay, there you go. Let's see here. Pretty old. The Big Joke audio era. Yeah, the pretty old orange foam. Yeah, you don't have to have that orange anymore, but you can buy refoams. I mean, you can literally probably go on Amazon and get foam kits for 6x9s. I mean, and it's stupid cheap, and you can just use regular old super glue to put them on. It's stupid easy. We're referring to the alternator thing? Probably. And yeah, that can be a difficult. You can always check over at GP Car Audio's website for alternator brackets, double alternator and triple alternator and quad alternators. I like going through them for alternator brackets because they have a really good builder that builds very solid, dependable, rugged equipment, and the prices are all on par with stuff that's not made nearly as well. They also will automatically ship with an alternator belt to fit your new setup. That saves you a ton of money. Alternator belts are not cheap these days. $461. I can't add a secondary alternator due to my warranty. Understand that. I have a semi-rare lifetime warranty on my truck. Yeah, that sounds really messed up, man. But you can always run. You can compensate to a degree with a battery that can take in power faster than 0.3C, which is what a AGM takes it in. So, getting a bigger battery, a good lithium battery back there is going to help tremendously, even on your stock charging system. Also, if you could add extra power wires running from the alternator to the battery, that's going to help that power get there easier without having to go through and jump as many hoops. So that might be something to consider. Front under lithium is one course of action. Depending on how much power you need, you might be able to run a Big Jeff battery. Both of those two, use discount code CAE to save money on either one of those. Glow Voltage just come out with something recently. Hold on a minute. Jacob messaged me back again. He said, yes, indeed. Hang on a second. I just called him up on that. So I mentioned that Robot was saying something about it. But yeah, you can go with a Trunk Thunder Lithium or Big Jeff Audio. Like I said, Glow Voltage popped out something recently, but I asked my guy at Trunk Thunder Lithium about it, Brandon, and he says he thinks that they're using pouch cells in that Glow Voltage battery. So I'm not sure. It'd be a crapshoot if it's a good battery. If it is a good battery, the price is around $500. It looks like the same amperage as the 10K from Trunk Thunder Lithium. It'd be a really good buy if it's a good battery, and I don't know yet. I need to get a hold of them to get one to test it and see what I think about it, so I can let you guys know. It may be a great deal, or it may be dangerous as shit. I don't know which. So that's all I can say about that. Christmas time soon. Time to get paperclip out to check if presents are wolfies. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Like if you have an AGM, just run the Trunk Thunder parallel to it. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's 100% accurate. Gravity 1000s are sold out. Gravity? Oh my God. I don't know about Gravity. It sounds bad. They have their name is sullied with some of the most horrible capacitors on the planet. The Post can break off on those. Okay. Stock alternator just doesn't have the balls to keep up anymore. So now after 8 years, my voltage drops when using system, especially at night when lights and stuff on. Yeah, your alternator can get weak. If you got somebody that can rebuild though in your area, we have a guy in our area that can rebuild them. They usually don't charge you a whole hell of a lot to do it, and you can have them rebuild them with better components, and you can get a lot more out of your stock alternator if you're wanting to keep it that way, you know. Extreme duty, that's what they're called. The police alternators or extreme duty alternators. That's the word I was looking for. 2016 Ram 1500 160 amp alternator stock. Yeah. 160 is tiny, yeah. But it doesn't really matter. You're burning up it. It don't matter. Whatever your stock alternator is, you're using most of that. There's a reason why the amperage goes up. It's because the vehicle requires more power to run. Running 300 amp worth of fuses and the 3 amps in the truck. I know that doesn't mean I'm running 300 amps. Yeah, your draw is what's important. And your alternator, like I said, a single AGM battery will only allow about 30 amps in and out constantly. So it doesn't matter how big your alternator is, it can only push in 30 amps at one time for an extended period of time. It just can't, no more will fit in there. That's why on an AGM battery, you may start out, or even a bunch of AGM batteries, you may start out with all this power, then a few seconds later, the voltage just starts coming down because the alternator can't put the power back in there fast enough because it'll only allow so much in at a time. The chemical process just takes time, and that's what kills them. That's why they suck. If you're going to run AGM batteries, you've got to run a lot of them because you've got to spread out that power coming out and going back in. It isn't the storage that you need, it's the throughput. You need a whole bunch so you'll have enough throughput to be able to pull enough power and put the power back in, right? They can dump it out. You just can't put it back in. That's the problem. That's why they die. They just crap out. What's up, man? John Migo. I'm going to go with it that 3 is an E. Migo. I kind of like that. I'm probably wrong about that, but I like the way it sounds. For that car, 100% needs a McMahon. Sure. Everybody needs a McMahon. 6 farads. You can boost the voltage a little with a diode. Yes, you can. But that doesn't help the system. That doesn't help the current. That brings the charging voltage up, but that's only relevant if you've got a battery that needs to higher charging voltage to be able to maintain it. It doesn't help the current output of the alternator. So, like if you're going to run, if you're going to diode an alternator, the only reason to diode an alternator is if you've got a battery that needs to be charged at a higher voltage. Like say, for instance, you're running CMAX and you want to charge at 16 volts. You can diode an alternator to where it'll charge at 16 volts. That doesn't mean it's putting out more power. That just means the voltage regulator is getting tricked into charging at a higher voltage so it can actually put power into your CMAX bank. And it will not help the system overall at all. As soon as you start pulling more current than the alternator can produce, the voltage it's producing doesn't matter. It's done. It's done. It's like giving a kid a step ladder. It doesn't make him any stronger. It just makes him be able to reach higher. Same concept. Let's see here. Do I know what cells are trunked under lithium 5K version 2? Also, what's the biggest amp you could put on that battery with a 250 out? The 5K with a good alternator, an aftermarket alternator, can pull you could probably pull about 10,000 watts out of it pretty easily. That 5K is a strong ass battery. It's really strong. And I don't know the name of the cells, but I do know, I'm 99% sure they're the same cells that are in the Titan 8. Same cell, same battery, essentially. The same size cells, same amount of cells, and the same cells with a different build on the bars and the balancer and all that stuff. Casing, all that stuff's different. But the cells will be the same. And so you can compare the trunked under lithium 5K version 2 to the Titan 8 if you want to know. Also, it's the same cells that Big Jeff uses in the Big Jeff lithium battery, but twice as many. And it's half of the cells, the same exact cells that are in the 10K V3. I can tell you that, but I can't tell you what they are exactly. I just saw one on video and love the content. I don't know if you're talking about me. I hope so, but I appreciate it if that was me. John said, I have a single cab Silverado HU EQ epicenter. Okay, head unit, EQ epicenter, 4-channel amp, and a sub amp. I'm getting the worst noise. Sure, it's a ground loop, but I don't know where it goes up with the RPM. Hold on, Jacob messaged me again. You should join the live, man. Oh, man. It goes up with the RPM. So it's an alternator whine, that means. Engine noises are so difficult to troubleshoot. But I'll tell you the process. So instead of giving you a fish, I'm going to give you a fishing pole. Here's how I go about finding those noises. Start at your outside and work your way back. So Start by unplugging the RCAs from the offending amplifier. So if it's a high-pitched noise, you know it's coming through the mids and highs, unplug the RCAs from the amplifier and see if it stops. Okay, it probably will because there's no signal going to the amplifier. Plug them back in so it starts again, right? Then go to the head unit and unplug the RCAs there. See if the noise stops. Okay, if it's still going, you know it's from there out, because the amplifier will still make the noise even if those RCAs are unplugged from the head unit. It'll pick up that sound on those RCAs and still make that sound. It's still playing. So you know if you unplug it from the head unit and it's still playing, it's somewhere between them RCAs in your hand and the amplifier. You know it's the RCA. If it doesn't change, right? If it does change, then you know you can figure it out. Start out at the end and work your way back to signal path, and figure out what stops the noise. Then you can chase it down. That's the best way to do it. And if it's the RCAs, you can try running a ground. You can do the old cheat, and take a piece of wire, run it from a ground on your vehicle somewhere, anywhere, and then run it to the outside ring on the RCA tab, one of them, and put it on there. If the noise stops, it's a ground problem. It most likely will stop, knowing what I know about that sound that you're getting. William Biddle says, greeting from Northwest Arkansas. How you been feeling? Going to let you know I did a 151 with one single brick 15-inch brick house on an Apocalypse 7900.1. I filled that in because I got one. And a single cab Dodge Ram. Sir, that is awesome. That is slamming freaking numbers. Just the fact that you got a 15 and a single cab Dodge Ram is impressive all by itself. That's a lot of subwoofer to put in that size of a cab. Awesome, dude. Congrats on that. And how am I feeling? It's hit and miss, man. Rest makes me feel better, and I feel worse after I eat. So it is what it is, right? Appreciate you for showing up tonight, William Biddle. I just have 2 batteries on 135 amp. The cap helped with the lights. Yeah. I'm glad it did for you. I've never had any luck with one of those, caps that you buy off Amazon. Any of them. 1 farad, 2 farad, 10 farad, 8 farad, 15 farad. I've never had any luck with any of those helping with lights. But if you did, I'm so glad to hear that. What will help with lights is an actual battery. I mean, not a normal battery, but a lithium battery. That's what I did. A cap can help with lights in the right circumstances. Like if you put a cap on your lights, like the power wire going to your lights, if you put a cap in that line that can hold, a reasonable amount of power and so that whenever the voltage drops in the rest of the vehicle, that cap still supplies the power to that light for that second and balances it out. That can actually help with lights. The other way around. Anyway, Blake, those trucks also have a PCM control voltage, right? Yeah, voltage control module. Let me see here. Police cars had the Interceptor package. Yes, they also had that extreme duty alternator. The Interceptor, it depends on whether they're Ford or Chevy. The package was called different stuff. But they all got the souped up alternator. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, those things run forever, though. They're really good alternators. They hit the junkyard, man. Try to find another police alternator. It's just the best deal. If it was, but if it's a Ford or a Chevy, either one, I know you guys may not know anything about Caprice Classic police cars. Uh, Most of you guys all would know about the Crown Vic. Those alternators are really easy to get, and they're also easy to change, fortunately. Bobby says, is a 240 amp alt enough for 1700 watts? Well, that's about 170 amps of power. And if we cut it in half and say 80 amps, 90 amps, and we're taking 70% of the alternator, that's pretty close. I'd say probably not. It's going to need a little help. A little more storage, good throughput, all the help it can get. It's going to be in the ballpark, you know. Just be sure that the wiring is up to snuff. It's got a good high C rate of charge storage somewhere, either through multiple AGMs. You would need to have 3 AGMs, or one small lithium battery would fix it up. So yeah, ballpark-ish. I need a newer generation for the bigger alt. I wish I could help you, brother. I'm trying to come up with ways to do it on a budget. That's what I'm always after. I mean, you know, there's tons of alternators you can buy out there. Look for something off a tow truck too. They tend to have big ass alternators on them. And keep in mind that you don't have to run an alternator made for your car. I've got friends that are running alternators made for Chevy, small block Chevys on all kinds of different stuff. But you may have to build your own bracket to make it work. So keep that in mind too. If you could pull a alternator off of like a van, one of those vans that has lots of amenities inside of it, they're usually pretty good size alternators. Shit like that. Just keep your mind open and look at it and compare it. You might be surprised what you can make work if you're trying to work on a budget. And also consider getting them rebuilt with better parts and rewired. The local guys that do alternator and electric motor repairs can do that for you. And they're not going to charge you much for it. You may be able to get the alternator for $20 from a salvage yard and get it reworked for $100 and have, you know, a $500, 300 amp alternator. So, I mean, yeah, just look into that stuff. That's what I would do, trying to stay on a budget. 461. I'm sure they do, because my older RAM charging system was controlled by the computer. Yeah, don't get me started on that junk. I don't know I wouldn't know how to help you in there. Plugs different. You can always rewire plugs. Just figure out what wire does what, and it's cookies and cookies, man. They'll still work. Yes, and McMahon does have kits. You can order kits to convert wiring harnesses and do different things with wiring harnesses. They have them. Okay, we're talking about the 6x9s again. I believe the front speakers are riveted on. No, you leave the cone on there. You just cut off the surround. The surround should be mostly gone. You just kind of scrape up what you can't and leave what you can't. And then just glue your new surround right on top of it. The speakers in the middle don't have anything to do with anything. Also, wait a minute. Is it one of those that has the mid-range and tweeter mounted and has like spider legs that go over to the outside of the speaker? If so, then yeah, you could just drill them out and then just put JB weld them back on, or use some tiny screws, or you can actually put rivets back in them. It wouldn't be too hard of a process. If you want to keep the speakers around and have them around, a little work is, go a long way. It's still doable. If that sounds like the old Craco design where they had the mounting frame that went to the outside, went over the top of the surround, and went to the outside frame of the basket. Something Craco and a few others used to do. What is better, a half bridge or a full bridge? There is no better. I mean, you ask the right people, everyone's going to tell you the half bridge is better. It's not. Half bridge is less efficient. It turns more power into heat. It really isn't better in any way, except that you can torture it a little bit more because it's not maxed out. The full bridge is basically two half bridges in bridge mode. It's two half bridges strapped in one amplifier. That's what it is. That's what a full bridge is. It's two half bridges. A half bridge pulses one way, a full bridge pulses both ways. It uses two amplifiers to move, and where the half bridge moves is one. It's no different. Let's see, for a daily car, sound quality versus pure power. Would I be able to tell if I'm not going full tilt 3K, 4K? No. You wouldn't see the difference at all. None whatsoever. For a daily driver, you're not trying to go crazy. A full bridge is fine because it's going to be most efficient. You're going to turn the most of the power into actual music instead of turning it into heat. So some people are going to tell you that half bridge is better. It's not. It simply isn't. I mean, just because it was around a little longer and everyone doesn't like change, and that a lot of the full bridges when they first came out were very cheaply made, everyone wants to say, well, they're better. But they're not. They're just not. There's no way to prove that they're better. You can't show me anywhere on any piece of paper, in any metric, in any way, where the half bridge is superior to a full bridge. But I can show you how much more efficient a full bridge is than a half bridge. So on paper, it's better. And you won't hear any difference. I am running two ARC Audio KS 300.4s. Okay. So 2 4 channels and 1 2 channel, big 2 channel so that's 600 and 1800 watts and a stock 160 amp alternator. That'd be 180 amps and a big 3 using, you're pulling 180 amps and you figure half power because it's music. So, 90 amps. So you need 90 amps to run your gear at full tilt, and you got a 160 amp alternator. At best, you got about 40 free amps out of that alternator. So you got about half the power coming out of your alternator that you actually need. So you're going to need to make up for that. Well, you can't. I mean, you're going to make up with batteries, but yeah, you're going to need more batteries. At least like a Big Jeff Lithium would work for you. That would add it to your factory AGM. That would put you within the realm of being able to run and get all the power that your amps actually make or are capable of making. Let's see here. No problem. I sell something called a McMahon RVC bypass option. Yeah. El Fuego. Hey, man, thanks for stopping by, El Fuego. You have a good night, sir. Lithium first, if you can fit it inside the trunk, not under the hood. Correct. Yes, good advice across the board. Run a potentiometer to the regulator. That's all possible. What's up, Frank? We're all alive. How do you know when a subwoofer is not getting enough power? You have to do the math. There's no way to know that a subwoofer is not getting enough power. Some people say, well, does it look like it's moving enough? That doesn't. That's totally irrelevant. And it's not really it's not really a thing. Enough power. Consider a subwoofer like a bicycle. If a kid's riding a bicycle and they're going down the road on the bicycle's getting enough power. If a 300-pound man is riding a bicycle and he's going down the road, the bicycle's getting enough power. In both cases, the bicycle needed different amounts of power to perform the job, but it still performed the job. That's what a subwoofer is. It's just a link. It's like a chain, okay? It's a chain that connects the electrical pulse out of the amplifier to the air in your vehicle. There is no enough or not enough. That's why you can get subwoofers that are rated at 200 watts RMS, put 200 watts power on them, and they can get stupid loud and sound really good because they're getting enough power to do the maximum of what that amplifier is outputting. It's a same thing. Kid on a bike, fat man on a bike. The bike still goes from point A to point B at the same speed. It just needs more power to carry the fat man than it does the kid. You see what I'm saying? I know it sounds stupid, but I'm just trying to say that there's not a number. That's not important. What you want to know is if you're giving the amplifier enough power to do its job and that the subwoofer has enough power handling capacity to handle the amount of power that the amplifier is putting out. That's the key. Like I said, the subwoofer is the chain, not the motor. Hopefully that was helpful. Really, it comes back to your electrical. The question isn't whether the subwoofer is getting enough power. The question is whether your amplifier is being fed properly. That's where it's at. It's all in batteries and alternators and wires. That's where everybody's at their weak spot at. That's the limiting factor in every damn system out there, is how much power you can get into that amplifier. And then once you've got the amplifier completely fed, it comes down to, well, putting another amplifier in, a bigger one or another one, and feeding it the power. Because you're turning power that's stored in your battery and in your gas tank into base. You know, you can have 15 million giant subwoofers and 10,000 giant amplifiers. If you don't have enough power to feed those amplifiers, you're not going to do anything special with all that equipment. People overlook the battery and alternator and power wires. And that's literally where it starts at. If you don't have that, you don't get bass. You can spend all the money in the world on a big 10,000 watt amplifier. If you're feeding it 200 amps, you're never going to get that power out of it. And then you can go buy a 15,000 watt amplifier, spend more money, and you're still going to get that same 2,000 watts you were getting before because you're still not feeding it any more power. You can't make power from nothing, you know? Gotta run. Yes. If you're running AGM batteries, you've got to run minimum. All right, I'll give you the number to figure. So if you got 1,000 watt amplifier, you're going to need to run, let me see here, 100 amps. You're going to need to run at least one AGM battery, and that's bare minimum for every 1,000 watt amplifier you're running. And that's given them so much more credit than they deserve. Just figure for every 1,000 watts, you're going to need to add one large AGM battery. to be able to keep up with that system because of the throughput. That's the Achilles heel, is the throughput. You'd also need, so it doesn't matter how many batteries you run because they don't even kick in until the voltage is already lower than you want. Yes. That's absolutely true. So like and that's the thing. The AGMs also suffer from that problem. So their voltage is resting at say 12.5, 12.7. And they're not going to actually start participating in putting power back into the system until your alternator is dropped down and their voltage drops down to that resting voltage where they actually produce power. Up till then, they're taking in power. They're not producing it. So the battery, same thing with when the alternator is still the voltage, the highest, when the alternator is producing the highest amount of voltage in the system, the batteries are all receiving power, or they're not taking in power at all because they're completely full. They're not going to start outputting power until the voltage drops below them. It's like having a swimming pool. Until the water level around the swimming pool drops below the swimming pool, it can't dump any water out. It just can't go anywhere. It's under the water. That's kind of how the batteries are. And unfortunately, we like to keep our voltage up high. And so having something that doesn't actually start participating until it hits 12.7 means that you're basically drowning before somebody shows you, helps you out. So it's kind of, yeah. AGMs they're just horrible for this shit, man. They really are. Been doing 13.5, 13.9. It drops to 12.9. Yep, that's exactly what I was saying. And it's going to continue to do that. Even if you have 500 AGM batteries in your car, your voltage is still going to drop to that resting voltage. It's going to drop to like 12.8, 12.9, 12.7, whatever that resting voltage of that bank is. That's where your voltage is going to drop. Now, it might sit right there and never move when it hits there. If you've got tons of AGM batteries, it's probably not going to drop. But I mean a lot of batteries. It's just going to drop to that point and it's going to pretty much stabilize and not move. Most of us don't have 50 AGM batteries in our vehicle, though. 13.5. I got to recharge a bit between 3 AGMs and an ultra cap. That means that you are not pulling enough power to use everything that you have. That's good. It works out, man. LTO or LiPo 4. Boy, that's a big one. You like spaghetti or macaroni? LTO is better for integrating into AGM lithium hybrids. LiPo 4 is better for that. LiPo 4 is better for systems that are running in the 14.8 volts and lower. It's also less expensive and it's more energy dense than LTO. LTO is more resilient, tougher, can take more punishment. It's less likely to fail in any kind of way. It's also more expensive. They have pluses and minuses depending on what you're trying to do. It's not as simple as picking one. They're significantly more expensive, LTO is, but it all depends on what you're doing and how much money you have to spend and how much space you have to work with and all those things. I usually go with LiPo 4 unless I need LTO for some specific reason, because it has a better set of criteria that's easier to work with, generally. Ignition wires, coils can do that also. The noise, yeah. Do you follow Terry Ray? I have watched some of Terry's videos. Good dude, cool guy. And I watch some of his stuff. I don't follow him actively for whatever reason. Most of his stuff doesn't show up in my feed. But yes, he's a cool guy. Sometimes you can go around the RCA cable, yeah. Or a resistor, yeah. Pioneer head unit, very unlikely, unless the ground is bad in the chassis. So if you have a bad ground, a lot of times it'll pull ground through the RCA cables, or it'll pull a ground through the antenna wire. That can cause noise. So if you've got a bad ground on the radio going to the thing, to the car, that can be a problem. You can try attaching a ground back to the radio chassis. Sometimes that will help kill noise. So where your radio's ground wire runs, just add another ground wire and run it back to a screw on the chassis. Sometimes that'll kill it. It's just hit and miss, man. Bingo, my fault. I'm new to this. I'm active duty. Got in a wreck. So I got some time. I'm trying to get some good sounding music, but I'm getting that alternator whine. Hopefully some of the advice you're getting today will help you chase down the problem. LED lights help with the headlight dimming issues, yes. Titan 8 batteries, LTO. The Titan 8 batteries are LiPo 4. I'm just 3 days new to my channel. I'm almost certain they're LiPo 4. I mean, I'm not 100%. You can check it out yourself, but I think there's LiPo 4. I'm just 3 days new to your channel. I'm very thankful you give the best advice. I just bought the B2 SAP and a Machete mid sub. Are you talking about the DSP, the B2 DSP? I think. And the Machete mids. Oh yeah, those are great. Excellent choices, brother. And thank you very much. And you're welcome. Let's see here. Limo alternator. Yeah, good luck finding one of those in the junkyard though. But yeah, the limos, they use the same alternator. They use those extreme duty alternators, the same ones the police cars use. 2019 Ford Explorer Interceptor. Oh, that's interesting. Cough, cough, elbow, elbow. Wire the stator in parallel and use a smaller pulley. Yeah, could be a thing. Electrical gremlins suck in cars. I had a weird blip in the sub whenever I turned it off. That pulse is caused by a DC offset. That's what that is. That's in your amplifier, your sub amplifier. I'll explain that in a minute. Be right back. barely made it back in time. One of my buddies just called, and he will be in here in a second. I'll leave him outside. He's a pest. He's got Taco. What's up, Chris?
Not a whole lot, man. We got some things in the works.
Do we?
Yeah.
Hang on just 1 second here. We've been on a question answering thing. I'm having cam problems. The stupid screen issues, man. Yeah, knock yourself out. Hang tight, guys. Be patient with us. We're just idiots. All right, that'll work. I can use that. Remember, I said I'm down to one monitor, which is throwing everything off. So I'm struggling with all sorts of stuff. Okay, I can make that work. I'm going to try to get us both in screen. See. Y'all are talking shit about me. I see that. Okay, I was going to talk about DC offset. So yeah, whenever you're so as you know, your amplifier is producing an alternating current, right? So it's like this right here, right? Well, there's a center line. There's a center line to this alternating current. And that sometimes your amplifier will not have an even up and down on its alternating current, and its resting point will be like off the center line a little bit. This is called a DC offset. And whenever it can be positive or negative. And whenever your amplifier turns on, when you power it up, it will go to that center line, right? Wherever it's at. It may not be sitting in the natural center. It may be here. That's the DC offset. So that means it goes thump and moves into this position. And when you turn the amplifier off, it goes thump and it moves back to the neutral spot. The subwoofer literally moves a little bit to get to the amplifier's neutral spot. That's its DC offset. It's really noticeable whenever it's a strong DC offset. Scoot yourself over as much as you can. And I tried to give you some.
Look, everybody's like, is that Chris?
That is Chris, man.
Yeah.
No.
What's up, y'all?
Hang on, I'm gonna work on everything.
Oh, I'm turning white. Oh.
You're almost a Caucasian. You almost reached Caucasian status. Check. That's not it. Check. All right, speak, Chris.
Microphone check 1 2. What is this?
Yeah, you're coming in.
All right.
Set this over here so you have your thingamajigger. Right, now you can use words, and people will understand your words. Let's see. I wanted the Solo X18 kind of bad. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, dude, I had chicken tonight. I had some chicken that I had marinating in teriyaki.
Yeah.
And I cooked that up, and I cooked up some ramen noodles.
Yeah.
And I chopped it up into ramen noodles. It was healthy-ish, unhealthy-ish stuff. Got the straw. I don't do lines. I straight shoot up, man. Look, I shoot up with the pen, man.
Novolog.
Hell yeah, dude. Taco lines. Oh, he brought Taco in a while ago. I told him to put her back out. Go get Taco.
All right.
I'll get him to bring him back in here. You guys met Taco yet? I'll get him to bring Taco back in here. And Java, oh, he'll come. And Java always in front somehow. Javi. Taco, taco, taco. Buying biscuits at a taco stand.
Yeah.
Telling on her. My fans know, neither can I. Yes, it is Christopher.
Yeah.
No, this is Taco. Let me see. Say hi. Everybody, say hi to Taco. I know, he's such a sweetie. He's adorable. He basically wants to do anything that I'm doing. So let's put him on top of my head. You can sit up here, Taco. Now hang on tight. Don't. Yeah. There we go. I got a taco. Everybody else have a taco hat? I have a taco hat. Wait a minute. It's falling off.
Hey, what's up, Stu?
You're taking back.
You want your headphones?
Yeah, he wants whatever. Time to mention Sony explodes. Chris is in the house.
That's a roadkill. What?
I'm going down the list and trying to catch up. Taco got bigger quick.
He did too.
Roadkill on outer skins. Sound shield on inner skins. Let's see here. Stu's in the house. The head unit distorts too much on the speaker outputs. Hola, Taco. Hola. Now, see, y'all don't know how he got his name. I told my wife, I said, cats name themselves if you give them a minute. So when and you was here that night, wasn't you?
Yeah.
You came in.
I came in. I grabbed the towel. I had the towel.
Yeah, he had the towel. So I was giving Taco his bath, his christening bath. And every animal that comes into our house gets a bath immediately because we don't let fleas get in the house. And he had some pretty good amounts of fleas. And so we give him his typical dawn bath, and he's all washed up. His little face was all wet. And, and I handed him to Chris. Chris had the towel. And he just grabbed the towel. He knew what was coming. It was pretty funny.
All right,
and his little face was all wet and all matted up, and his ears were sticking straight out. I can't get him to do it now. Just quit squirming. And his face was all matted up, and his and his ears, and he looked just like a chihuahua. I looked at him and I said, "Yo, Keto, Taco Bell."
And he says, "Taco."
Taco. That's his name.
I told you they'll name itself.
Yeah, he named himself.
Yeah.
It's like it just happens, man. He's my little buddy, guys. He get right up here. He gets in my beard, snuggles in my beard and stuff. Oh man, I can't tell you how much. My cats, man, they keep me from going crazy, man. They keep me sane, and I love them. I love them. We have some really good kitties, and he's my new little buddy. So we have lots of good times together. But you want to take him back and play with him some more?
Yeah.
He likes Chris. He knows Chris is a good guy. What do I recommend for good subwoofers?
Sony explodes.
Yeah, Sony explodes, obviously.
I just seen a build the other day about Sony explodes. They had 8 Sony explodes in the back of a Suburban.
They had 6
8
8-inch?
No, 8 12-inch Sony explodes.
Okay, you said 6-8.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what confused me. Okay. How many was it? 6 or 8? Is it 8?
It may have been 8.
They had 8 12s. They had 6 or 8 12s.
1300 watt reds.
The red ones?
Yeah.
Well, that's the silver one up there.
Yeah, that's the leg on it.
Yeah. I had those red ones back in the day, though.
He's biting the shit out of me.
Yeah. You're a chew toy now. That's your job.
He's biting the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's your job. You're a chew toy. You'll accept that. You're going to accept that position.
I got your fucking belly now.
That's your position in life now as a chew toy. You're going to be happy with that shit. You're a chew toy and you're going to like it.
Get that belly.
What do I recommend, man? Who's that said? 1821, Sun Bunny.
Explode.
Everything's exploding. I mean, honestly, Slapz, dude. I can't think of any other reason. I can't think of any reason to recommend any other subwoofer besides a Slapz subwoofer. the Oblivions or the Smackdowns, either one, depending on exactly what you're trying to do. If you're wanting to go as crazy as you can in the SPL world, the Smackdowns are going to give you the most for your buck, bang for your buck. I'm running the Oblivion version 2s. I'm doing the 157 dB off, on the glass, legal. So, I could get louder than that if I want to push it even further. And that's with a musical build. That's with a demo build. A center seat, both sides, everybody's getting equal. That's a full function demo build that I'm doing 157 dB in. And that's not even their big boy subs. So, yeah, I can't really think of a reason to recommend any other subwoofer unless you want square ones, and then you can go with the kicker. It's hip to be square.
For a sundown explode.
If you want, or a sundown explode, yeah, you can get one of those. Who said that?
Outlaw. Stupid.
Sundown explodes, man. Everybody needs a good sundown explode. The old Sony explodes were not that bad. I doubt they'd make that. Well, if you're doing 200 to 500 watts on a setup, absolutely, man. I'd run them all day. They're actually usually really good sounding subs.
Yeah. The second best sounding sub I ever had was actually one of those red octagon
Explode.
And that thing jammed. God, shook the whole bedroom, windows, everything. I had it up under my bunk bed.
Stu, if you road trip, I don't know. I don't remember where Stu lives at. Where do you live at, Stu? I don't know if I want to take a road trip with this motherfucker or not. Yeah, I took a road trip.
I'm down.
I took a road trip. I'm not big on road trips, though. It all depends on how far it is. Maybe we will come over. Let's see. I asked Jacob for a sundown explode. He Googled and never got back to me. I should hit him up. Probably only have to drive halfway. You'll be able to hear it. Yeah.
Mississippi. Oh my gosh.
Mississippi?
We could make it to Memphis in one day.
Yeah, that's a 5-hour drive to Memphis.
Yeah.
From here. I know. I've made that drive a lot of times. About, depending on where it is in Mississippi, could be about 6 or 7 hours. One way.
Is Tupelo anywhere near South Haven?
Yeah. Yeah, Tupelo, not too far. They're both in the upper part.
Mm-hmm.
Tupelo is about 70 miles south of Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. And South Haven's like 20 or 30 miles.
Yeah, down 55 out of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken. Brand new window switch regulator. Hey, no problem, man. I tell you what, if you go back and look at all the comments I've got on that video, it's unreal. Like, it's absolutely unreal. I stumbled across that solution and said, you know what? I need to get this out there for everybody to be able to use, because this can be an expensive rabbit hole to go down, and I had a way to fix it without going down that whole rabbit hole. I'm very, very, you're very welcome. And he's talking about the video I have of how to get the window to roll up and down on your Chevy vehicle.
The regulator goes out?
No, it's just a computer thing. You got to reset the computer.
Wow. Once you put a new regulator in?
Yeah, but that doesn't solve the problem. You just have to reset the computer, and that fixes the problem. It's like nothing's wrong. The computer just forgets what the hell's going on. And you have to sort of power cycle the computer.
Too much bass. Basically.
No, actually, it just happens randomly.
My head unit keeps shutting off.
Bass had a problem.
It's got a detachable face.
It's just trying to rest, man. That's what it is. I'm more of a sound quality guy. Hey, you know what? We all do what we do. I like sound quality too. I just like it real loud. Actually, I'm past that threshold of SQL. I do listen to music and normal, like a normal human being, a lot of times. But I like my system is like my system is more like a roller coaster than a car. You know, some people want a Cadillac. I want a roller coaster. I want a top fuel dragster. It's not practical. It makes no sense, but it's fun as hell. The more, let's see here, DDX, great subs, dollar for dollar. I can't speak on them. Don't know. What are you tripping on?
Nothing. It's screwed into the wall.
Are you trying to get the sun? Oh, you can't have the explode.
I want the explode.
He's everywhere trying to steal my damn explode. The GT5 15s haven't exploded yet. It's because you hadn't put enough power on. Everything will explode with enough power. They all make bass. Hell yeah. They all make bass for sure. Red Pill says, man, if I went louder, really, it's more curious on giving the system the power it wanted. Yeah, focus on your electrical. Yeah, as Tupelo, Mississippi, Stu said. Focus on your electrical system and getting that up to snuff. That's usually where everybody's weak at. Another spot people tend to be weak at is in the box design. The box isn't designed correctly, or the port isn't designed correctly. That kind of stuff will make your overall experience lesser. What was you going to say, Chris?
We're doing all my wiring tomorrow.
We are?
No, not we. Me and Richard.
Oh, you and Richard.
Me and Richard, we're doing my wiring. I'm gonna rip my headliner out. Might not get to the headliner tomorrow.
Well, you're gonna pull the box out tomorrow?
No.
Okay, because that's part of the headliner.
I know.
And you're doing the wiring anyway, right?
We're putting my 2 5 1/4s from the back doors up front with the other 2 5 1/4 DS18s, and putting them in, wiring them in.
Okay, so you're moving all your mids and highs to the front doors.
To the front, yeah.
That's what you're doing tomorrow. Yeah. Okay.
And drilling the holes for the other 2 tweeters and the driver door.
Putting all that in. I found another amp. Yeah, what are you running?
Well, I'm running all Sundown right now.
What's this other amp?
Sundown 1250.
For
my tweets.
For your tweets. A 1250. How many watts is this?
Together?
No, that amplifier. The 1250.
If you're at 1 ohm, it puts out 1600.
You're going to run your tweeters off 1600 watts of amp.
No. It's a 1250. I'm going to be running four. Well, that's how they were ran originally. The door speakers and the tweeters, because I got the tweeters and the door speakers from him, and he had them both on the 1250.
He's a crazy person.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. It's way unnecessary.
Well, I'll have what I'll have.
What do you have on your mids right now?
I'm running watts per channel.
Huh?
Watts per channel.
Okay, what amplifier are powering your
my
6s?
My stereo.
And you're running off the head unit.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest would be running all of your mids and highs off that one amplifier.
Yeah.
Wire them together and using the capacitor to protect the tweeters.
Because I got a DSP.
So, in that case, you still have to have different channels, though.
Yeah. But I'll be able to.
That amp has what? One channel or two?
It's one channel.
So it's a monoblock amp.
It's a monoblock full bridge, yeah.
Right, because he runs everything mono. He doesn't believe in stereo. Like I said, he's a crazy person. That's a weird amplifier to run.
That's just what they were on. So, and they sounded really fucking good. So.
Okay, but you can run all of them off of, okay.
1 amp?
Sure. It'll be one big channel, but your DSP is only going to be doing one. It won't even be doing anything. Because you're literally going to be running one channel to the whole front stage. All the speakers will be on one channel.
It's got 2 outputs.
But that's still one channel. If it's a monoblock amp, it's
Yeah.
just two outputs on the same channel.
Because I remember running those.
I mean, I've got a 600 watt Diamond HEX over there, 4-channel.
I like that Diamond HEX.
Yeah, that would run your whole front stage. And you would actually have 4 channels to work with instead of 1.
You want to trade?
The 1200 for it?
1250.
What is it?
Sundown SIA 1250. It runs 1600 watts at 1 ohm.
Yeah, I'd trade with you. Straight trade.
Let me think about it. Give me 24 hours. Let me think about it.
Okay. All right, bet. Y'all heard it right here. We're willing and dealing. I'm just trying to keep it from making a silly mistake. Let's see what's going on here. Let me catch up with the chat. Blake, what is your source? Do you have clan signal going? Y'all are going back and forth. 1.5 more hours. Oh yeah, you got one of my AD subs. That's the AD 2000 series 12. That is a really good subwoofer, guys. I got one of them over in my big base, my big cabinet, where Bones is sitting, and the other one is sitting up on the shelf. Make sure he sits that back up there correctly. Now, Chris, why do I have that subwoofer turned that way and not with the magnet up?
Because you don't want to damage the foams around.
I don't want to cause actually, I don't want to damage the spider.
You don't want to put pressure on the spider.
Right, the spider. Push the spider out of center.
Yeah, because you're competing. You're making impedance.
It'll cause the spider to rest in a off center position. You never store them that way. You can carry them that way in a vehicle or something, but you don't ever store them that way. Yeah. Now he's got the Hyanka 15. That's actually a hell of a sub too. I'm impressed with that. I pulled it out. It's a whole lot bigger than it looks on camera. I pulled that out to put the 12 in there.
And what size voice coils it's got?
I don't know. I don't remember.
2-inch?
2.5 inch, or I think it's a 2.5, maybe a 3. 2.5, I think.
Looks like 2.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's I think it's rated a little higher, but somewhere between 500 and 1,000 watts make it sub real happy.
Yeah, it's rated what, 15?
Yeah, I think it's rated 15. I wouldn't put it on 15 for a continual basis.
No.
I know that Bayside 91 had 2,000 watts on 4 of them, 2,000 watts a piece.
Yeah.
I had 2,000 watts on each one. It is, but I wouldn't run them that way. I'd run them a little lower than that.
Don't be crawfishing now.
Let's see here. People ask for sub recommendations and don't give vehicle their specs. Yeah, I know. It's kind of that's the story of my life, dude. Let's see here. Solid equipment either way. I got to catch up with my chat.
I'd be happy to be running around here with a bunch of Slapz stuff, holding it up like, yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's mostly bolted down or in my vehicle. I don't think I have any. I have the little 6.5s out there. That's all I have in Slapz that aren't attached to something. He's in there chasing Taco again. I think loud systems work well for some people. It's like I said, it's a thing. You either tickles you or it hurts you, and most people have. Some people have aversions to loud, and I think that the interesting thing is people are never expecting how much bass you get. It's like and so it's such an extreme level of bass that it's fun. It's different. It's like accelerating way faster than you ever accelerated before. That's something that's unique experience. These are the little Slapz 6.5s. These little dudes are pretty wicked. Look at the battery on the back of these. And yes, they do have a legit cooling vent on the back. My finger will fit down inside of to keep those coils nice and cool. These are really inexpensive and quite heavy, little 6.5-inch drivers. And that represents everything Slapz has in the mids and highs department. They're all overbuilt, ridiculously badass little pieces of gear. I cannot recommend anything more. You can play with that. He gets bored with his hands. He has to be doing something. He's going to bust a move. He's going to bust a move on it. A-Trend DQV15 is tuned too high for SPL. I might put them in different boxes. I could extend the port, face it towards the rear. There's a harness in the headliner that runs down the A-pillar of the junction box left to brake. We're getting into something I'm not familiar with here. Need multi-channel for mids and highs. Yes, I agree. Yeah, our buddy Richard, another crazy person in our group, he runs everything in his vehicle mono. He doesn't run stereo. I don't know. He's weird, but his shit does sound fine. It doesn't sound wrong. He mixes everything down to mono and runs it all mono. And unless you know, you don't know. You wouldn't know it by getting in there. Still bugs me. I just can't do it. Outlaw says, be a man. Run a mono block to all mids and tweets at a half an ohm. 2 Bass Blaster, 18-inch subs, 2,000 watts. I want to do a 6-order box. Is a non-wall box going to be windy still? Would it be better to get a 5K or an 8K Tar Amps Big Boss? What do you got? Oh, you got the taco.
I got the taco.
He'll keep you busy for a while. All right, so you can get windy on a non-wall, but you have to. You're going to lose a lot of that air pressure behind the enclosure and go in the wrong direction because it just spreads out in the vehicle and goes in all directions. So you're going to give up roughly half of the amount of air you'd be moving up front to move in the back. That's kind of the downside. So the further back you put it, the more effective it becomes. That's why people point the ports and stuff to the corner of the rear of the vehicle, and because then it becomes all reflected and it all gets pushed toward the front. It's a complex organism doing it that way, but yeah, you can still get windy up there. It just takes more power to do so. Don't be crawfishing now, Chris.
No, I'm taco fishing.
No taco fishing. Fishing for bass. I called in a car audio shop. The head unit have to be RC outputs. He was asking about that 8K too.
What 8K?
Bass Blaster, hang on a minute. Two Bass Blaster 18-inch subs, 2,000 watts. You could figure your amplifier at half the wattage for its RMS because of impedance rise. So I would say the 8K would be the better amplifier for that setup because at 4 ohms, which is where it's going to be hitting its maximum amount of box rise, it's going to be making about 4,000 watts, which is still right on point for those subs. So yeah, I would run the 8K for that setup.
The 8,000, the 8,001, the one I got now.
No, this is his question. You got to be keeping up with the questions if you want to know what I'm talking about. Don't be crawfishing, fishing for bass. John, usually they just die completely. A lot of this stuff is people talking back and forth.
I got you.
It's probably necessary, but it's always better to go bigger. No, like I said, you figure half. If you want to know how much power you're going to need, where'd you put him at? Outside? If you put him down, he goes outside. He doesn't get to live on the floor in here. You got to hold him or put him outside. Okay. Because there's way too much shit for him to get into in here. But yeah, you always want to go with what I said. I'm running my KS 6x9s, 3-way components, 100 watts to each treater, 120 to 2.5 inch between. That sounds solid. I finally made it to the bottom. Christopher on the 1s and 2s. All center channel. I'm back. Thought you'd close the stream. Oh, man, we've been hanging out, you know. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Grab me a Diet Coke, would you?
Back scratcher.
Yeah. Since you was up. Sensuous. Outlaw said, I got a box rise issue I can't seem to solve myself. Whenever I go over bumps, the box hits the ceiling. Yeah, you just need to get you a little midget hooker and have her sit on top of your box. And if you don't have a midget hooker, you can get a regular hooker and cut off her legs. They don't run as fast that way. Whole lot easier to keep up with them. Whenever they escape the dungeon, you just find them out in the yard crawling along, you know.
Leaving a trail of
go, yeah, you can go with your net and go net them all back up, put them back in the basement, chain them back up. All the rise. Sounds like you need better enclosure. Hell yeah. And the straw for the Diet Coke lines. Hell yeah. They got me up past my bedtime.
Yeah.
So I'm caffeinating the hell out of everything. Y'all got any more questions for me tonight? Let me see something here. That is in here. I don't think I can play it though. I don't. Where is that? I'm going to look something up while y'all are thinking about questions. Close you. This stupid monitor sucks. I got a TV up here and I got it set up to, which one is this? That's not the one I'm looking for. I know I don't have it. I have it. I have to get it. Y'all hang out there for a minute. I'm going to get something here. I got to go get something. I know I have it. I want to show y'all a video. I know I have it. I just don't remember where it is. Got to find it. That's not it. All right, we got to go a different route. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Wait, you know what? I'm a squirrel chasing fool, man. I am a squirrel chasing fool. Right now, I'm chasing a squirrel. Is this it? Yeah, that's it. I'm going to show y'all a new video.
Is that his truck before he painted it?
Yeah.
It's already on your desktop.
Yeah, I know. But I couldn't find it. I should be able to find it now. All the hoops I jumped through to keep things going around here.
He said you could use a laptop.
I could. Yeah, well, you know what? I got a mailbox. Send me one.
I got one.
You got one? I've got one
two.
too. Yeah. I didn't. There it is. This one before. All right, check this out, guys. I'm gonna bust it out. Headphones on.
Feel that rumble in your chest when the streets get dark. When the amps come alive and the bass hit hard. Got the low so heavy, make the concrete bend. Ever hit from the trunk, make the block lose wind. I ain't here for the fame, I'm here for the shade. For the glass vibrating in the walls that quake. When that 30 hertz drops, man, everything fades. Just you, the machine, and the music you made. Subs flex hard like the breathing fire. Voltage on strong like a live wire. Tune so low, it'll rearrange so. Lows cross slow like they hunt for ghosts. From the Tahoe walls to the trunks on lock. Every bill get loud when the meters pop. Anything in the world like a vibe we chase. Just a bass head life and a bass head space. Bass. Deep like a heartbeat buried in the ground. Bass. Shake the whole city when I roll through town. Bass. Feel it in your bones when the woofers pound. Bass. Ain't nothing like the thunder of that low end sound. Baseline creep when I roll real slow. Let the pressure build up to the door might blow. Neighbors peek out cause they feel that way. Rattling the frames like a backyard grave. I don't brag, I just flip that switch. Let the lows dig deep like they dig in the ditch. Every beat hit clean, every note hit true. When the bass come alive, it'll speak to you. Midnight hit and the lot fill up. Every ride tuned tight with the big bow guts. Walls on fire like a tremor inside. Trump bills thump with that old school pride. Crowd step back when the roof starts flexing. Beaters jump high like the scores impressing. Ain't nothing in life, give a rush this strong. When the bass drop hard, you belong to the song. Bass. Deep like a heartbeat buried in the ground. Bass. Shake the whole city when I roll through town. Bass. Feel it in your bones when the woofers pound. Bass. Ain't nothing like the thunder of that low end sound.
That's good stuff, man. I like that track. And I worked on that one. I wrote that in the last couple of days, but I actually put it together this morning. Started this morning. I finished it like 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. I can hear it on the side of the house. Oh, yeah, dude. That shit slams. And it's 27 hertz on the lows, 32, I think, 27 to 32. I have it wrote down as 42, but it's actually 32.
27 of 33.
33. Yeah, okay. All right. My bad. Thank you.
Yeah.
Clearing that up. All right. We're still talking. I'm sorry, folks. Real name's Jimmy. Been here installing car audio since 1992. I'm 51 now. So there, sorry, outlaw. Don't joke a lot. I don't know. I'm not sure. I missed something. Let's see here. I have a Pioneer head unit, EQ, epicenter. Yeah, we covered that one. Some loud alt wine. Yeah. Okay, we talked about that too. JC Audio. What EQ you have? JC? What is JC Audio? You ever heard of JC Audio? Does he mean JL, you think? Surely not. Is L close to C? No?
I don't know.
I thought it might be a typo.
Never heard of JC Audio.
No, I haven't either. I heard JC Penney. I got my EQ at pennies. Pennies. What is this? I brought the ground loop isolator and connected it to the head unit, and it went away for the most part.
Yeah, call my mom.
Oh yeah, but you also lost a bunch of highs. You may want to go in the bathroom. That's a good spot. JVC. I don't know. So I'd start by bypassing the EQ and see if that cures it. Keep bypassing units and you'll find the one causing it. Yep. A lot of times losing the ground on something will cause it to pull the ground. See, almost all equipment that can be powered on that has RCAs running to it for some reason or another, whether it be an EQ or a DSP or anything, if you disconnect the ground wire to that, it will pull ground through those RCAs. And that would definitely cause a loud whine. Or if the ground wire you've got connected isn't a very good ground, it will still pull power through the RCAs. It'll pull that ground through there. And that causes whine. But the reason they have that ground hooked up is because if you don't, you wind up with two separate grounds, and two separate grounds almost always causes noise. So it's kind of a catch-all problem. That's why RCAs really suck, is because they share a ground with the system. One of the reasons they suck is because they share a ground with the system. They only keep them around because everybody uses them and nobody wants to change. And there's infinite better ways of hooking up, a signal connection that are all of them are better than RCAs, but we're still stuck using RCAs. Jerry. Is Jerry Ain't Loud still on YouTube? Yes. He's moved to Missouri and he still does the channel. He changed his name to Jerry and something. His wife's name, Designs. But if you look up Jerry Ain't Loud, you'll still find his channel. Yes. For whatever reason, I can't remember his wife's name right now. Let's see here. Head unit. Or amplifier possibly. Also check to make sure none of the RCAs are pinched anywhere. Sure. J&D Designs, yes. Debbie, that's it. Could not think of his wife's name for nothing. Deb. J&D Design. The old screen's sucking the light. Has to be some kind of film you can use for the glare. Yeah, you can order anti-glare film for everything. Like sheets of it. You just cut it to fit. You can also order privacy film too. That helps in some regards, which basically means that you can't see it off center. You have to be right in front of it to see it. If you slide off to one side or the other, it goes away. That can actually help with glare too. Let's see here. Everybody's answering. Hello, you guys, man. You're all so awesome. Bunch of great people, man. Hey, if y'all hadn't hit that like button yet, be sure and slam that like button. I love likes. The internet loves likes. We do this kind of crazy stuff on a weekly basis, and all you got to do is just click a little button to make my life better. I appreciate it. Yeah, he's definitely rep for DS18. He works for DS18. DS18 is not a bad company. They're I don't like all of their equipment, but even Jerry don't like all of their equipment. Um, but they do have good equipment as well as some not good equipment. You just gotta know what you're looking for and pick through it. But DS18 does have a whole lot of very innovative stuff. They're the only ones that really have any good lighted speaker rings that you can use on anything, lighted subwoofer rings and all that stuff. They have a lot of really cool marine stuff too. It's a pretty cool company all the way around. Not perfect, but pretty cool. Uh, I bought a whole new set of OFC ETC and it came with RCA cables. Okay. That's cool. That ain't far from me. Or you, right then I'm right in the line between Bentonville. Yeah, Springfield. He lives over. I live in Springfield. He lives over um, south of St. Louis, quite a ways, about halfway down the Missouri state and over by the border there. I got his address. But anyway, it's where he lives. Engine grounds, etc. Use a grinder to get a solid metal ground to. Yeah, William, you aren't too far from me. The epicenter should be first, then your crossover. Uh, Ground straps, yes. Almost always the ground straps are a problem. So if you haven't already hooked up a better ground in addition to your ground strap, you should definitely do that. I'll leave the ground strap and I'll just run another ground right where the ground strap is on top of it, and then I'll run grounds in other places. I like to run a bracket ground from the alternator to the body, and then one to the frame or to the engine block. More grounds is always gooder. Can't go wrong. Same time. Well, that sounds fun. You can make your own cables, RCA cables, if you use Cat 5 or Cat 7. If you get some Cat 7 cable, Ethernet cable, it's triple shielded. So it's shielded, twisted pair, and then shielded again, which means it rejects noise like nothing else on the market. And you can make those cables with just order some cable ends and build your own cables. And you can make four. You can do a 4 pair on one single Cat 7 cable. Tons and tons of shielding, and yeah, they're perfect. You don't have on Poplar Bluff. Yeah, that's not too bad. 3 grounds, big 3, Cat 8. You don't need to go quite that big. The Cat 6 and Cat 7 are both. Cat 6 is double shielded and Cat 7 is triple shielded, which is plenty. Urban use a center hub. 5 or 6 should work just fine. Yeah, I don't. I steer away from 5. Five's just twisted. It has one shield, but it's not a very good one. It's not ideal. 6 or 7 is what I generally tell everybody to grab. Um, you can. I mean, it's not gonna kill anything. Everybody talks about this running your RCA separate from your power cables, but I've tested this theory. We took an RCA cable, a 16-foot RCA cable, and coiled it around the power lead, like coiled it around and around and around and around, all the way down the power lead, and got zero noise out of that system. Um, so I really don't think that's a thing. I mean, is it potentially possible? Yeah, maybe. If the RCA isn't twisted, It could pick up some noise like that. I mean, it's possible. But the reality of it is, you're not going to have that happen. If you're running a decent pair of RCAs, they're going to reject all that. The problem's going to be someplace else. It's just the reality of it. Somebody will explain the big three. Don't think of it as a number, because it's really dumb. It's just an easy way to say connect a ground wire from your battery to your alternator's bracket, connect a positive wire from your alternator positive to your battery, and connect a ground wire from your battery to your frame. That's the big three. Basically, just make all your grounds better and make all your positives better, and you've done it. Bigger wires, better connections, that stuff. I never play below 1 ohm on any amplifier. Not because they can't, but simply because I don't. Race our drag boat at Wheatland. Cool. Ground upgrade, John. 3, that's not quite right, but it's close. Make sure your RCAs are ran away from your power wires. Probably not the issue. Better safe than sorry. Sure, I'll buy that. RCAs on passenger side. Have some lining issues one time. Drove me crazy. Ended up being a piece of gear that was in line with my sister. I don't think that's what he intended to type. And it was a Cadence preamp. Took it out, got a processor, went away. This man had a piece of gear that was in line with his sister.
What, huh?
He said he had some lining issues one time and it drove him crazy. He had a piece of gear that was in line with his sister.
Well, that tends to give birth defects.
Birth defects, or at least pissed off sisters.
Yeah. At least pick a sister from a different blister.
That's it. Typos are the best, man. Maybe focus on the big three ground upgrade and engine bay, big three, all grounds, alt ground, battery ground, engine ground. Question. Is 5700 RMS amp enough for a 4400 RMS subs? Like I was saying before, try to pick an amplifier with an RMS that doubles the RMS of your sub. That's ideal. At 1 ohm anyway. And if you're at whatever ohm load you're wiring it at, it needs to be double the RMS of your subs. Because whenever your box rise is happening, or your impedance rise is happening, you're going to be playing at about 4 ohms. So that's going to be half of the power that it's rated at 1 ohm, which means that your subs be getting power. So I usually double the RMS. That's the best number to go for if you're trying to push it to the limit. Big three, ground strap from the hood of the firewall. Oh, Lord. I had an issue with the backup cam the other day running in the kick panel. It showed fine until I zip tied the video RCA to the harness. It got fuzzy. I don't know. That could be any number of little weird things. Backup camera running in the kick panel. It showed fine until I zip tied the video RCA to the harness. That could be a magnetic interference in the camera sensor. You could try putting some foil tape around the camera or something. That might fix that. I don't know. Yep. Agreed. Is there a difference in sound between 1 ohm and 2 ohm? No. If you ask one of those little finger pointing audiophile people that think everything has to cost $5,000 or it ain't worth the crap, well, they'll tell you that RCA cables are directional too, but they'll say, yeah, you got to have high ohm load to have sound quality. That's all complete bullshit. It has absolutely no bearing on sound whatsoever. First thing I did when I was young and lucky enough to get a double alt welding, I redid all my grounds and added a few. That's always a good idea. More grounds better. Keep in mind the amount of current versus voltage and the speaker output increases as you reduce impedance. Okay. Fair enough. Damn, I hope that wasn't me. It was supposed to be system and not sister. You assholes. Now he's trying to make excuses for putting his equipment in line with his sister.
We didn't put it there. You did.
I didn't tamper with your sister.
Popsicle.
I love typos, man. Sometimes they make for the most hilarious freaking questions. Oh my God. The Grey Poupon, yeah. Grey Poupon. Pardon me, sir. Would you happen to have any Grey Poupon?
With a hint of Asian pear.
Christopher, I got some ice cream. You want to come on in here and get some of this ice cream, Christopher?
I don't know that.
Don't touch you want to pet my kitten, Christopher?
Doesn't look like a taco.
You want to pet my kitten, Christopher? Look how furry he is.
Oh, pet my chicken.
Pet my chicken. Oh, let's see. You guys are a hoot, man. Directional RCAs. Yeah. You better believe it. Does it have a battery on it? They only work if you put the battery on them.
I want to run my RCAs like if I get another amp. Say I get another one of those ones that I got, and I want to run some RCAs like you got out of the app from the. Okay, so you're running an input from the front, from the DSP to the input to one, and then run the output to the input to the other one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I need to get dual 4 ohm subs.
Oh, to run 2. Yeah, you need dual 4s to run 2, dual 2s to run 4. Just remember they have to be like that. Dual 4s to run 2, dual 2s to run 4. But you can always get the amps first. You just won't see any real benefit from it until you switch the subs. See what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I suggest. If you get the subs first, that throws you off because you'll be running them at the wrong ohm load, completely the wrong ohm load.
Yeah.
So if you get the amp first, your power is going to stay pretty much the same until you switch the subs. And then things change big. But you can just throw in subs and you're golden. You don't have to do anything else to it. Let's see here. No kitten petting. Oh, Christopher, he don't want you to pet that kitty cat.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Well, you got to pet the chicken, Christopher. Just pet the chicken and be quiet. Oh yeah, absolutely monster cables. That's it. So now you really sound like the SQ crowd. I know, dude, for real.
So look,
I actually owned some directional RCAs back in the 90s. Oh, you got the big AD.
Yeah, see, I could run this. I could run this for my mids and highs.
Could. But we got to get that one repaired, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with it. And actually, Carmel wasn't even sure there was anything wrong with it.
That JL's bigger than this one, isn't it?
Yeah, but it ain't got that much power.
Yeah.
That's like a 3,000 watt 6 channel or 6-channel. I think it's a 3,000 watt 6-channel amplifier. This is the one I'm going to trade him right here. Hold that one up. That little dude right there. You know how much that thing costs, right?
Yes, I do.
Let's see here. Always ended up running backwards. Did it make the people talk backwards? Like, did you hear the devil and stuff? Oh man!
So I can run this at 4-channel.
That is a 4-channel.
You can run it at 2 or 4. It's got a switch.
Yeah, you can run it 2-channel or 4-channel. Yes, that's for the inputs. Yeah. So if you look up, if you got like 1, 2, 3, and 4 channels coming out of your stereo system, plus a sub, you can run 1, 2, 3, and 4 in here. Okay, or you can flip the switch and run just channel left and right in here, which is what normally you do because you don't have 4 channels coming out of your stereo system.
Yeah.
Or your DSP. You have 4 channels coming out of your DSP?
I got 8 channels coming out.
Okay, then you could switch it to 4, and then you can run 4 channels into this, and it can get each individual channel on the DSP, right? And then you got 4 channels coming out of the amplifier too. That's what that means. But what do I do with my hands? Yeah, he can't sit still. He's got the ability to sit still of like a 3-year-old.
Yo, this thing's This thing's got a whole nother.
Oh yeah,
it's got a whole nother shelf.
Yeah, that's the.
I didn't know
that's the cover. Yeah,
it's got that and then this.
Yeah, it's got all the controls and also the mounts and once you screw it down, if you put that plate on, you can't even unscrew it without taking that plate off.
And it clips in and locks.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a very nice amplifier. Bill said, "That's nice, Christopher. Now hold it up some more."
That's why I held it up.
Hold it up, Christopher. Hold it up. Hold it up. Look, pat it slow. Pat it slow, Christopher. Pat it really slow.
I'm gonna kiss it and hug it and love it,
and name it George.
Does that light
kiss him and hug him and name him George?
That lights up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice amp. I told you it's a hell of a nice amp, dude. Let's see here. 80 some nice gear. Hell yeah, that amp is killer, but it's got some kind of. I think it's on. I think it's got a dead channel. What?
Oh, it's right here. My phone.
You leaving gear laying around, huh?
Well.
Anybody else got any more questions? If not, we're going to turn this 3-hour video off.
Give it the Vanna White treatment.
Vanna White. And your showcase.
Yeah. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Christopher, come on down. Yeah. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
Come and get your brand new amp. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
You've got to pay $6,000 in taxes on something that costs $5.
3 easy payments of $5 million.
Yeah.
Sunday. Are we on for Sunday? I hope so. Should be, unless I'm having a really shit day. We're going to try. What's up, man? Make great money. Hey, that's a good name. I like it. 2 15-inch subs in an SUV facing back or facing up? Facing back. Yes, there's a big difference. You'll get more output facing them to the rear because you're stretching out that sound wave, and you're allowing lower sound waves to mature up front. So if you got 2, I would face them back. And then you're going to need to sound deaden the living shit out of your rear door because it's going to catch all kinds of vibrations. Let's see here. 3, the one I can't pronounce, said, would you recommend I have someone to install a Trunk Thunder 5 or it's easy? It hooks up just like a regular battery, man. It's a piece of cake. If you can't, anybody that can install a battery can install it. Just make sure you hook it up with short wires running to your amplifier, and then run the power and ground that was running to your amplifier to it. It's going to make tremendous difference in your overall power handling capacity. If there's an open spot for a rail cap, would it be better to have 10 externals or just one on the board? More capacity is more capacity. The closer it is to the power circuit, the better. But having more a little bit further away is better than having less really close. Me too, Stu. I am glad myself. It lasted for a good solid 2 weeks. It's absolutely atrocious. Yes, I was rough. Hold up. William Bill said, "You have a good night. I'm out." Good times, man. We all love a good laugh. Everybody needs to enjoy themselves and have some fun. Make Great Money said, "Just bought 2 B2 amps today. My discount code." Sweet. Let me see if I got an email. I do. I got the email. You must have just bought them recently. Nice. I love it when a plan comes together. Appreciate that. It was actually 2 lungs and 1 testicle. No, it was 3 lungs and 2 testicles. Just call you wizard. I was thinking the same thing. I was. But, let me show you my arm over here. Y'all see that? Really can't see it really well. But it says Wiz. And there's a long story behind that. It's a little cheaper if I buy more of the sweet. All right, guys. Well, we are going to get the duck out of here. You guys have been awesome and amazing. Remember to treat your friends and your neighbors with respect, and treat people that you meet with respect. Show love to everybody in your neighborhood and everybody that you encounter, because each of you can do your part to make the world a better place. You guys have an awesome day. Let's get the duck out.
Subwoofers are getting loud, you can feel the booming sound. Getting ready to go, got it shined up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home, another one bites the dust. Wires are glowing and the amps smoking, subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming, gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go, 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice cords are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.